I'm Pastor Lou, known to my congregation here at the High Mountain Presbyterian Church. Been around here for a while. Coming to you in this ministry outreach in an attempt to sort of create a communion, a connection between people, you and me. I have a chair right here for you. It's empty, but not in my heart, it's not. Glad to have you here. If you're a member, participator in this community, you know you're welcome. If you're new, if you just stumbled upon this site, welcome. Glad to have you with us. This is a community that seeks to be inclusive, that is working far, far from perfect, but working together to perfect, to allow the perfect love of God in us, to perfect us toward welcoming and inclusion, lifting the weight of injustice and prejudice that have so burdened the human race. Glad to be with you today. It's another in a series of beautiful days. My wife said to me that she felt like she was in that movie, Groundhog Day, because every day is so beautifully and perfect and warm, and it just feels like, oh, it's that same day back again. But, you know, that's part of what we live our lives to do. I've been honestly, I'll just be honest with you and tell you that I am really frustrated because I've had some nice chats, what I think are nice, meaningful chats, having worked on them, thought about them, and then shared them. And sometimes the volume's too low, and people send me word afterwards, we couldn't hear what you said, tried to read your lips. How frustrating is that? And then on Tuesday, the chat was removed by Facebook. I guess I must have said love and God too many times. That's not really what I think. Anyway, that's God. That chat has disappeared. And so these are ordinary problems. I don't really remember which ones you saw, you might have seen, or which ones are available, but I think back to how the conversations have evolved, and earlier this week, I think it was the day that it was taken away entirely. I was talking about this, it's part of the theme of our lives as people of faith. Faith is trusting in that which you cannot see. It's taking steps onto bridges which are invisible. It's trusting. You do what you can to confirm. You don't want to be foolish, but you have to trust. Life is built on trust. Communities that are good to live in are communities in which people trust each other. That doesn't mean that there aren't violators of trust once in a while, but there's trust built up. That makes life good. Trust and faith are the same words. And usually the word faith is related to trusting God, whom you cannot see. But it's connected to trusting in community. Jesus said you cannot say you love God and hate your neighbor. You can't, because the trust and the faith in one is connected to the trust and faith in the other. It's complex, but nonetheless true. So in this life, in this encouragement to faith in life, in everyday life, sun up to sundown, and when you lie down at night and you go to sleep, it's the biggest act of trust and faith you'll ever have, because you close your eyes, your mind goes dormant, and the world goes on without you having anything to say or any influence at all. It's faith. And faith invites us to see this present moment. You can't see the future, you can't change the past. So dealing with this present moment. I got a message. I'm going to see if it's someone telling me that they can't hear me again. Nope. I'm hoping that means everything is fine. This present moment. So in my chat 2 days ago, I talked about that one of the things that's really kind of a wonderful discipline to do is to take inventory of your life and write it down. Write it down. Grab a hold of today. It's a Thursday in June. Soon it'll be July and August. Take this Thursday in June. Look around you. Write down things. Make note of things. Especially things that you're grateful for. And then what I'd said, and I really want to just re-emphasize it. I'm sorry if this is a chat you've listened to, but have you done it? And the reason I'm back at it again is I had mentioned in that chat what was, I don't know, it was just a very special, powerful moment in my life. Some of you know that my mother died now 2 months ago. She died of the COVID virus. And she was living in a memory care facility, and so in some ways she had been leaving us little bit by little bit. But before she went into the memory care home, she knew that she was losing ground. But there were some days she was very lucid and really knew what was happening. So, again, I'm sorry to keep checking, but okay, good. One day, before my mother left home, she must have had an inclination like this, because she took a piece of paper and a pen. Her handwriting was still okay. She was still proud of her handwriting, but it was beginning to deteriorate. And she wrote down words of appreciation and celebration to my dad. And they were not polished words. They were wonderful words, very clear, very concrete. Thank you, she said, for putting up with the number of times that I've disagreed with you about big decisions in life. And you worked with me until we came to some agreement. Those kinds of words. Thank you for always remaining romantic, she said. Now, what I find interesting is that the day my mother wrote these things down, she decided then to hide them. So she wrote them down and she hid them. She hid them in the bottom of a clothing drawer of clothes that she didn't always wear. I don't know how long it was that we found them. My sister found them as she was going through my mom's clothes recently, and then found this note, and then, oh my goodness, the sense of celebration of having an inside look where she knew no one was judging or watching. She just wrote what she felt, what she thought. And then it was opened like a treasure chest. Literally, a treasure chest. And the reason I'm talking about it again today is that my sister, for Father's Day, had taken the words and she put them on a word processor in a hand script. And then she created this beautiful framed picture with the words clearly written out in a font. And then embedded in it was the actual copy of the actual letter in my mom's handwriting. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Hidden away for some later time. Again, it reminded me of a poetry professor in college who was a poet himself, but he described that for many poets, one of the most important things to do is to make an attempt at your word art and put the words together and then put them away. Put them away for as much as up to a year. And then when you get them back out, you can look at them again and you'll be able to see what should stay and what should go. And that's what I'm talking about today. Today, this day, is a day. Look around. Look around. See what you can see and make note of it. talk about what it means to you, good or bad. And how priceless. How priceless. I mean, if you're a teenager, it's not good to share these things with your parents. You know that. All gets tangled up. Just write them down and then hide them away. Hide them away. Hide them away for yourself. This is the nature of faith, of the journey of faith. It's the nature of this elusive thing we call traveling as a journeyer with Jesus. It's the awareness of today. And maybe you don't really know the full value of today. But don't wait till a crisis comes. Just document it. Maybe you're not a writer. Maybe you can draw. Maybe you're just draw. Capture today. It will only be here for a little while. Capture it. Capture what's revealed to you in your heart when you take the time. In a way, it's kind of a recurring theme that comes back, but I don't mind, because that's really what this 15 minutes and 17 minutes is about. It's about, hi, have a seat. Let's capture this moment. Here we are actually capturing this moment on videotape. Maybe it'll be discovered by some archaeologists 500 years from now. Grateful for today. Grateful, grateful, grateful. Yes, there are always worrisome problems. There are always big challenges, things that we must do, that we must change. The awareness of the challenge of racism and how it permeates the lives of those of us who come from Europe and who have moved here. The whole prevalence of an attitude of subjugation. Big problems to solve. Big changes to open our hearts to. It'll begin. Take out that pencil and paper, that pen and paper. Write what you grabbed from today. Write what you don't like about from today. That's okay too. Tomorrow will take care of itself, Jesus said. Do today before the day is gone. Well, that's my deep, maybe not so deep, but certainly abiding thought today. Very grateful for a community of openness and caring. A diverse community of thinking, sharing people. I know I say it. I want to say it again because I really mean it. I treasure the comments that you send to me. I do. I like it. It's the only bit of real interaction that I get with you out there and me in here. Yesterday I said, I think in probably a chat that was unheard because the volume was too low, that there are a lot of conversations going on about opening up for physical gatherings. And I just want to say to you that at the present time, the leadership of the church, in complete agreement with me, is saying that we are not even going to venture there. The most dangerous, high-risk places that you can be are to be in closed-in buildings where there are large groups of people, and large could mean 20 or 50, where people are breathing, where they're singing or gathering. It's dangerous. This virus is invisible, and it is stealth. It doesn't show up. It doesn't even let you know you have it for 2 weeks, and you can have it and not even know it for the entire time, but be spreading it. All that to say, we're continuing to carry out our love and our commitment to you and to each other, from me as a pastor to you. If you need a phone call, if you need a conversation in person with me, please call me. I don't want to give out my phone number because we are live broadcast on Facebook and on YouTube, but if you can email me at revlouie, REVLOUIE, at AOL.com, and I will return the conversation, and we can see where it leads from there. That's part of gathering the moment up for me, taking it in. Drink deep of today, my friends. May love abound in your life. May health and faith enrich and deepen your life today. All the rest of this day, that you might note it, remark about it, and hide it deep in your heart. In the Gospel of Luke, as the birth of Jesus is being told by Luke, he tells us that he got the information. He says, I wasn't there when Jesus was born. I wasn't. I didn't know any of these details, but I talked to his mother. And there's a beautiful phrase. It says that the story of the angel coming and talking to Mary, and then the birth of Jesus and all those things, that Mary treasured these things and she hid them in her heart. You get the sense that Mary was paying attention to what was going on. She hid them. She hid them until someday, some itinerant doctor who had met her son, followed him as a disciple, came back to his hometown and interviewed her about his early life. And she had these treasures in her heart that she unfolded for the world. Hold your treasures deep, my friends. Record them. Hide them away until another day. God bless you. It's my prayer for you. Amen.